Hey guys, this is Frozen doing Sharing Things Fanboy Lesson 4 here, and welcome back to another movie review. And this is probably my final Halloween movie review, and it's been a lot of fun. Maybe I could have done like a Halloween themed intro thinking about it, like maybe I could have done something like Stranger Things but at the same time, maybe it's too late. Hopefully I can remember to do the next year, but this is the last one. It's been a very fun journey talking about horror movies because I really grew an appreciation for horror movies. I hated horror movies back then, but now I love it. But yeah, with that said, and I gotta say, I am definitely ending the horror movie marathon, the Halloween movie review marathon on a high note because this is probably the best of the movies I am reviewing of the Halloween month. So yeah, but let's talk about this. Last Night in Soho is directed by Edgar Wright and stars Thomas and Mackenzie, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Matt Smith. So the film tells the story of Eloise, played by Thomas and Mackenzie, who has a dream of being an aspiring fashion designer and gets into fashion college in London. Yes, it's her dream, and of course, well, she gets excited, but she doesn't really. But the problem is that she gets bullied and she doesn't really fit in with her classmates. So yeah, she pretty much stays with a very mysterious old lady named Miss Collins. She's very mysterious. But I won't say much about it. But there is a plot twist involving her. Um, Eloise is actually has very special abilities. That she doesn't know. She literally goes back in time to the 1960s and sees sees her inspiration. She's someone named Sandy, played by Anya Taylor Joy, who she takes inspiration from. Yeah, Anya Taylor Joy's character basically gets stuck in her head, and she makes the fashion dress out of her. But then suddenly she starts to see ghosts and murderers and kills. So she saw that Sandy was killed. I think it was hurt. I say hurt, not killed. Kill is too far. But yeah, Sandy was killed, so Eloise must investigate the murder while trying to get through her visions. So yeah, last night Soho. I think I already hinted on what I think about this movie earlier. I yeah, this is definitely the best of the movies I'm reviewing for Halloween month. Although No Time to Die is the best movie I reviewed this whole month, if you include Bond month, horror month, and the recent movies. But Last Night in Soho is an absolute masterpiece. I love Edgar Wright's movies. I think he's a fantastic director. I think yeah, this is probably his sixth film. I've seen every one of his films. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, The World's End, and Baby Driver. This guy really does experiment on different genres. Yeah, different genres. Yeah, Shaun of the Dead is a zombie movie, but not a horror movie. Hot Fuzz is a crime thriller. It's an action crime thriller movie. Or I say more of a cop movie. Scott Pilgrim versus the World is a comic book movie. Baby Driver is an action movie, crime movie. Yeah, just like Hot Fuzz, although it's more of a heist movie, while Hot Fuzz is a cop movie. And now he is tackling horror movies. Imagine if he makes an animated movie. Yeah, he's pretty much like Steven Spielberg and he's pretty much like Steven Spielberg and Christopher Nolan, where he literally tackles different genres. Yeah, I would love to see him do animation one day. That would be cool, and some different genres. I mean, this is essentially also a murder mystery, which murder mystery is in my top five favorite genres of all time. But yeah, I'm not sure what else he could do. Maybe. Oh yeah, I remember Edgar was supposed to direct Ant Man, but he wasn't really fit to. I mean, but it wasn't really for him, so he left the project. I would have been curious to see an Edgar Wright the Ant Man movie, but yeah, Last Night in Soho is just a masterpiece. This is his best movie yet. This is probably easily the best horror movie last year. Yes, even over A Quiet Place 2. Love A Quiet Place 2, but Last Night in Soho is essentially better in some ways, in my personal opinion. But yeah, let's talk about everything I love about this movie. First of all, the performances are absolutely outstanding. I mean, you got the lead, the actress Thomas and Mackenzie, who gave an Oscar worthy performance. And Eloise, and I love Thomasin McKenzie a lot more now. I mean, this movie really made me love her. Matt Smith is incredible as the villain of the movie, and he is very creepy. I mean, he's been constantly playing villains in movies. I mean, and recently I don't remember him playing a good guy. Maybe except Doctor Who, which I didn't really. I only saw bits and pieces of it. I can't remember Massive play any like heroes. He mostly or good characters. He mostly played the villains. I mean, you got him in Terminator Genesis, which I think he was wasted. I think Terminator Genesis is overhated, but Matt Smith was wasted in that film. I yeah he was that the movie? I was gonna say something. Yeah, he was also the villain in Morbius, which sucks, and his worst performance. And but I will say Jack is probably his best performance, tied with Daemon Targaryen from House of the Dragon. Yeah, him playing the villains in both this and House of the Dragon. He's incredible and probably one of the best villain actors working today. Yeah, he's able to capture this regular man. He may be a regular man, but he absolutely gives you all the creeps and just yeah really it really makes you hate him. They really do a good job of making him such a hateable villain. But the standout for this movie is Anya Taylor-Joy's Sandy. I may have came into this movie for Edgar Wright, but the real main reason why I came into this movie is because of Anya Taylor-Joy. Anya Taylor-Joy is the best thing about this movie. Her performance is just absolutely outstanding, and and Sandy is also my favorite character too. Now, if you think Thomas and Mackenzie is the star of the film, like the standout, I totally get that, because she gave an Oscar-worthy performance. But yeah, Sandy is essentially like my favorite character. I really feel bad for her that all the men treated her like garbage. I know like Fandom Wiki said that last. I mean, I know Sandy was under a villains wiki and said to be the main antagonist of the movie, but I view her as, I think she's more of an anti-hero because well, I mean, her motivations doesn't make, I mean, she may be doing something bad and like murdering boys, but man, but she's doing it for the right thing because she's trying to take revenge on the men that abused her. So I don't think she's really a villain. I mean, and yeah, I know like in the third act of the movie, Miss Collins. I mean, I'm sure y'all remember the twist that Miss Collins was actually is actually Sandy but older. But I mean, and she did act like the villain in the end of the movie, but I think she's technically an anti-hero. I mean, she literally attacked Eloise. That one I can't really explain why. It's kind of complicated, but I think it's because of John, which, well, like Miss Collins like tells Eloise to stay away from Sandy, to stay away from I mean to stay away from boys because of her fear against them. But yeah, it totally makes sense. So she's technically an anti-hero. I mean, of course, she realized what she did was wrong, and she tried to commit suicide because of her wrongdoings. And Sandy, no, Eloise took the death, saved her. So yeah, again, I think she's more of an anti-hero. She's not the main antagonist. That Jack is not the main antagonist. Yeah, so that was definitely false information. I've seen a lot of villains wiki where like this character was labeled as like the main antagonist, but when she's not really the main antagonist, I just love that. No. What am I saying? I don't like it. I mean, I don't like the fandom wiki pages. They suck. But yeah, the story in this is absolutely brilliant as well. This is a very original story, even though it does take some inspiration from other movies. It's kind of like Don't Worry, Darling. Where you know that like you can tell that the story is familiar. You can say, oh, this sounds familiar because obviously the main character actually getting special abilities to see but to see things that no one else could see. I mean, that's something like how she could see ghosts when no one else would. But it's executed in such an original way. Developing a story that you've never heard of before. I mean, a pretty more original story. I mean, the way it was executed makes it original. I mean, I've never heard a story about a young girl like going back in time before, but like I mean, like physically, like without I mean, mentally go back in time. I'm not sure if that's the right word term to use, but I mean go back in time without using the time machine. There you go. That it's just brilliant. This brilliant writing, and I love those types of horror movies that pretty much starts off as a coming of age drama. Like it starts off with Eloise, like trying to get adjusted to her college life, especially when people bullied her, and then it starts to slowly turn into a horror movie later. I mean, horror movies. I love it when horror movies absolutely take their time to build it upon it because I mean, I don't usually mind the horror movies not being scary. I mean, but as long as it absolutely, I mean, absolutely like disturbs me. I mean, I don't need to get jump scared to praise a horror movie. I just need to be disturbed and probably traumatize me. I mean, there's a lot of H24 movies don't have a single jump scare, but they actually do find a way to traumatize me by its atmosphere. But yeah, this movie's horror is sick, man. It absolutely feels like a fever dream. Edgar Wright gives such great direction. In fact, this is actually Edgar Wright's first serious movie. I mean, other Edgar Wright movies are more comedic. I mean, Baby Driver. I'm not sure if I will count as a comedy or not. It feels more serious, but at the same time, there are a lot of comedy. There were a bunch of comedies thrown in, like the scene with Michael Myers and stuff. But this one there's not a single comedy to be found here. This is all serious 24/7. So everything you see in this movie is serious. And this is pretty much the most different Edgar Wright movie. I mean, it may not have the same energy as the other films. It's not a very fast paced movie like his other films. I mean, it's more of essentially an indie film. I guess I'm not sure about. At the same time, this movie was never boring. This movie never bored me one bit. It absolutely drew me into this world. It drew me into the stories. It drew me into the characters, and this is probably his most unique film. I mean, no wait, maybe Scott Pilgrim is, but I think this one is also like very unique in its own ways. This movie is absolutely visually stunning. Especially like the production design and how they handled the 1960s world. Even the ghosts were the things in Eloise's vision. They were all like well CGI. I mean, their character designs are actually really good. And thankfully, I've never heard anyone say that that their character designs look terrible and stuff. And yeah, the cinematography looks gorgeous as well. The editing, I mean, that's the one aspect where I straight up got Edgar Wright vibe from the editing. It's still the most different when it comes to editing, but you'd still see that the Edgar Wright's signature to it. I mean, it's just not the most noticeable. And the costume design looks absolutely stunning, especially Sandy's pink dress that she wears. Yeah, that was gorgeous. That looks gorgeous, and makeup and hairstyling as well, gorgeous. And by the way, I just want to point out something. How did this movie not get a single Oscar nomination or a Golden Globe nomination? It did get a BAFTA nomination, but that's just because this is a British movie. But come on, this movie deserved some Oscar nomination. I mean, you got the best production design, you got best costumes, you got best maybe cinematography, but I don't know. Best editing, I guess. Best makeup and hairstyling. This movie could have won the makeup and hairstyling. Like me, I would personally award. I think I awarded this for something which I forgot. I think makeup. I'm very sure makeup and hairstyling is one of them, but I mean, I haven't really thought about my Frozen awards in a while, honestly. But yeah, let's get back on track. I absolutely love this. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this movie could have gotten like some Oscar nominations. It sucks that there's not a single one. Best score as well. I mean, the score is absolutely fantastic and very underrated. And yeah, what else is there to say? Oh yeah, and before I wrap this up, the last thing I want to say is I think the third act is completely misunderstood. People say that the third act sucks, the twist sucks, but to be fair, I did not see that coming. I mean, the fact that Miss Collins was actually Sandy the whole time, I was literally my jaw literally dropped. Probably the best plot twist of last year. I think it is a genius plot twist, and I think there's nothing wrong with it. And in fact, that's probably my favorite scene in the film, where where Miss Collins, who's projected as Sandy, like tries to go up while King and about to kill Eloise while saying that was the best part of the movie for me. And yeah, I just love it to death. But it's so good, man. But yeah, the third leg, and it really gave a very satisfying ending. And man, and I was gonna say, Anna Taylor Joy gave such a beautiful performance. I thought Anna Taylor Joy couldn't sing because of Playmobil the movie, but I guess it's the director's fault. So overall, Last Night in Soho is an absolute masterpiece. It is the best Edgar Wright movie, the best horror movie last year, and the best non-MCU horror movie. Multiverse of Madness is my favorite horror movie, but Last Night in Soho is my favorite horror movie if you don't count Multiverse of Madness as horror. Yeah, this movie is so good, man. If you haven't seen Last Night in Soho, please watch it. And if anyone can sorry about that. There's a typhoon. I'm not sure if you heard that, but yeah. With that said, I'm gonna give Last Night in Soho a 10 out of 10. One of the best films of last year, easily in my top 5. So also for my review on Last Night in Soho, what's your opinion on this movie? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for the other videos that I mentioned on my community post earlier. So yeah, bye guys.